All right. It says we're live. So, welcome from the Crossroads of America. This is a 1-hour talk show shooting with disabilities, but we also talk guns, politics, or anything else that crosses my mind. Answer questions from the audience. Just put them in the chat or by email at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottyrick@gmail.com. I got a Patreon page, PayPal, and all that other good stuff in the listing below. So we got that out of the way. Let's see who was first in tonight. Kingpin was first in, then Gun-Loving Grandpa. G23, Rich White. Who else we got in here? Jason Stewart. Jerry Parker. Raphael. So they're all two live move. So they're all starting to join in. That's good. All right, let me introduce my panel that I have so far. I've got from the Behind Enemy Lines, New York Outcast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me.
All right, then we got Jason Stewart.
Hi, guys. Good to see
from
you.
Ohio.
Yeah. Days go by, life drags on.
Yep, and of course you got yours truly, me. Okay, I mean, we've covered this topic before. I was hoping to have some other people in the chat besides nothing wrong with these two guys, but I wanted somebody who was in a lot of pain, you know, and because I was going to bring this topic up again because I was reading an article about like me. I mean, I got my bad back. I got arthritis. Being a disabled shooter, anybody out there who's disabled, I mean, are you willing, you know, would you do marijuana to ease the pain? And if you do, hey, each to their own is what I'm saying. But I was wondering, how do you justify doing the 4473? You know, that's my...
I guess you lie then.
You know, and this might sound really stupid to some people, but honestly, in my 64 years of life, I have never smoked pot ever. Right now, I've been in the car, I've been in the room when the people around me have smoked it, but I personally have not smoked it. You know, so. Because I mean, I got my thrills out of drinking booze, so you know. Oh, Kingpin said weed is not a painkiller.
Hey, man, if you feel better, life's better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why do they prescribe it then for people if it's not a painkiller? I think it's just like anything else. It blocks. I mean, like my gabapentin I take for my back. I mean, that was originally, what's the word? Not discovered, but made in the laboratory or whatever. It was originally for people with epilepsy because it would block the receptors in their brain that triggered leprosy. So the same principle for my pain in my back. It's meant to block the pain receptors or whatever, or the signals coming from my back telling me I got back pain. I mean, it works pretty good, but I still have back pain. You know, it doesn't block it all out of the way. But I mean, that was, you know, we talked about this topic before, but you know, I just thought, well, let's bring it up again because I was reading an article about it where, you know, some people do it and some people stop doing it because they got stuck on the do I lie or don't I lie on the 4473 type question, you know, even though your state says you can do it, you know, but federally it's through a an illegal substance.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope, man. You might just want to avoid that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Loaded questions. Who you working for? Damn it!
I don't want to. I mean, I personally don't want to be put in that position. To do I lie on it or not, or even to be questioned. Have you ever, or do you, or do you plan to? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think the whole question about it's none of their business, man. Really.
Well,
You got my name. You got my name. You got my number. Look up my criminal record. Quit asking me questions. Quit asking me what country I was born in. Quit asking me if I gave up my citizenship and all that crap. The gun store's got my ID. I filled out the paper. You just need basic identification. You don't need a bunch of questions. Have you ever done this? Have you ever done that? Well, you're the one supposed to be looking. You tell me if I ever did anything wrong,
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But it's still a gray line. If your state says you can have it for medical purposes, gives you a card or whatever saying that you can have it for medical reasons, but you still got to lie on the 4473. That would be the stopper for me. If I was gonna smoke pot or do pot for medical reasons, that's what would stop me. I guess if I wasn't into guns, I wouldn't even think about it. But since I am, and it's one of the questions near the top, I believe, if I remember correctly. I haven't bought a gun for a few months, so I've forgotten already. But
I'd be cautious because if they can restrict your right to have a firearm, what's to say they can't restrict your right to vote or something else in that sense? So I would be real considerate of that in a sense. I know if anybody had asked me, I'd tell them just do it the old way and avoid the card if you insist, because I think you're really taking a chance like that and gambling with your rights, freedom, investment for something that you're more likely, I guess, to sit on the couch and go out and raise hell with than what's the point of giving them ammunition personally. So that's what I'd recommend to somebody that was considering it. More than likely, you know somebody that knows somebody. So it's becoming less taboo nowadays. So I would hinder being cautious even with a card for employment reasons, any of that. These states where it's legal, I'm pretty sure you bet your ass as soon as something comes up at work, any kind of injury, they're going to try to get out of that with the fact that you were high or had this in your system or whatever the case. So I don't know. I just I think it's a real sketchy thing, and the way the political atmosphere is now about gun owners and all being crazy and criminals and this and that, I think you're really taking a chance to go get one of them cards. So it's definitely a tricky thing. They state marijuana I know it's also been used for cancer patients as far as appetite. What Rick's saying there, basically the neurons in your brain creates a little gel in between, kind of short circuits it a little bit, and that's where the pain aspect comes in. So there is some little bits to that too. So, but I think you're really playing with fire, and then you got to consider what happens if you do get in a situation where you got to use your EDC. In a lot of cases, I can't speak for everywhere in all situations, but depending on your prosecutors, what budget they have, they're probably going to test you to see if you were under any kind of influence. So, especially if it's you took a life situation. So, I don't know. You really got to weigh out your options in a sense. It's better than being dead, but you might survive an altercation and still lose your rights. So you really got a lot to consider, and unfortunately, something like that's like an accident. you knew it was going to happen. You just would have took a different path. But unfortunately, things happen that are out of our control. So, are you a gambler or not? It's a real question.
Yeah. Oh, Kingpin in the chat here goes, people will take anything they are told will work, but weed itself doesn't take pain away. Weed is not a medicine. You know, the gun loving grandpa says weed is for concerts. Then G23, what's that? THC is not a pain reliever. They claim CBD is, which comes from hemp. You know, so yeah, you know, it just, I mean, even that stuff, you know, the CBD or whatever they sell, I won't even take that. You know,
I just state that just like marijuana probably affects every individual a little bit differently. So keep that in mind. So because it does or doesn't work for your friend may not be the same results for you.
is that call coming like for you?
A bottle of aspirin. No, okay. It's just city life, man.
Okay.
It's just like the birds and bees around here.
Yeah. Okay. So no, I mean I was just curious. You know, I was hoping some, you know, like I tell you who I would like to have in here right now is what's his name? Oh hell, he don't come here that often. The new guy, the last damn. Joshua was his first name. He's in a wheelchair too. Damn.
The guy that works for the government.
Yeah, or
he's got the logo like wheeled.
No, not him. No, the other guy that was a policeman and got dragged in the car and got hurt, and he passes out because the pain gets so tough.
Mm.
I can't think of his handle now or his YouTube name. It slipped my mind. Damn, I was thinking about him when I came up with this topic today. You know, but anyway. So if he shows up, I'll know who he is, won't I? Rick is high, G23 says. Yeah. Only high on living out in the country.
Rick, you're talking about wheelchair Luke.
No, I'm not.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Is it something with outdoors?
Yes. I can't think of I know he lives. I mean, last I knew he was living up in Illinois because he was going to some clinic or something to help him with the pain or something. But he hadn't been on here for a while because sometimes because of the pain he can't make it. You know, it'll come to me. You know.
Kingpin says injured outdoors.
That could be it. Hang on, let me look. Why don't I just look in my email? You know,
okay. Should send him an email if you're thinking about it.
I he's on my list. I send him one every time.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I'm saying. So let me look in there to find out if I can find his name. You know. Okay. His name. Okay. His name.
Yeah, don't
his
say
email
his name.
doesn't match his YouTube name. But I think you're right. What you said there, Jason. So anyway, that if he shows up, where we will. No, not well and well armed. Injured outdoorsman. Kingpin said. That's the guy. That's him. He's I was hoping he might show up. So, because I send him an invite every week. Hey, Sabrina's here. So that's good. So yeah.
Hi, Sabrina.
Yeah. So I mean, I was just hoping he might show up. I don't know if he does or not, but I just wanted his take on it. But that's okay. No problem. I mean, even what's called it, Willing Well Armed would be a good one. Hey, did you see his slightly on disabled stuff? Did you see his video today on his on what's called it, braces for AR pistols? That he uses them because of his disability.
No,
He
I didn't catch that.
he doesn't use it just to get around, you know, having a short barreled rifle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's actually using the product for its intended purpose. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't get to see his video yet. I just got home, but we'll check it out.
That's what his video is about today. I thought it was pretty good. Hey, did you all see New York Outcast video today? His woman outshot him. Just wanted to put that,
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she hit the targets more time than he did. So I just want to put that out there.
You let her win, didn't you, Rob?
And that's the reason I try not to get her upset. We'll just leave it at that.
Southpaw RX is in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, I mean, getting a big crowd here. So no, so I mean that's what I was going on about. I mean, like really, like I don't see, because caproprentin, how you pronounce it, whatever I'm on, is a drug, but it's a medicine. So I don't think it'd ever be on that list. But if it was, I'd be screwed, wouldn't I?
Possibly. I mean, again, I think it could be helpful for certain people, but again, you're taking a risk doing so. With our community, I definitely wouldn't recommend going to get a card for any damn thing.
No.
Although I do know people that own firearms and have a card, but I just see that as a ticking time bomb situation, especially in our state. So I would would keep that. I'd just be awful careful, and there could be other alternatives as well, other natural alternatives. I mean, in a lot of cases, changing your diet makes a big difference on how you feel. The only problem is it's work. You got to actually do something to do, instead of just taking a pill or smoking something. You got to physically do it. But honestly, you're better off to be dependent free, whether that's from the pharmacy or your buddy's friend that hooks you up with a bag or whatever the case. If you can be dependent free, the better off you are in the end, truly. So I'd try everything you can naturally first before you go rolling the dice with your freedoms, or even to the doctor and getting on one pill to take another pill to take another pill, and the next thing you know, you're drooling on yourself at a traffic light. But don't worry, it's perfectly legal because you got a prescription. But you're still a damn addict. Don't go natural if you can, folks. Put in the work. You're worth it. You're your best investment.
Oh yeah. The gun loving grandpa says, "Get the card, and they will be knocking on your door."
Everybody cries about not having any money. Don't waste your money on that crap.
That's right. I ain't got any to waste on it, so there we go. But I said I'm going to go shoot those 100 223s I reloaded the other day. I'm going to go shoot them. I won't be able to reload them because I have no small rifle primers yet. But that's okay. I'm going to have some fun. I've actually got I scrounged around, and I've got 4. No, I got 3. So I got 90 rounds. No, I got 100 plus an extra. Let's see, how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 100, so that gives me 3.5. I filled that one up with that. I got 4.5. I got 4.5 magazines to shoot, and that leaves me 2 full magazines at home in case they come knocking on my door.
Yeah, my dealer's got primers in. I was there last night.
Oh, we have.
Always got magnums, right? But here's the thing: $12 a sleeve.
Oh, gee, come on! What, for 100?
Yeah, and man, I love them all to death. They're like family, but man, that stuff like that right there just really irritates the hell out of me. But I know they're just trying to keep the doors open, but man, that's I mean, from $3 to $12. I mean,
that's a bit much.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't like $12 is going to end the world, but
no,
geez,
I would pay sort of like $5 or $6 at the most.
Yeah, I guess $7. I mean, if they want to, they got to make more profit, inflation, or anything. $7, man. I mean, that's like almost double the price you were getting. Well, it is double because you used to get them for $30. So, like, man, I mean, God, that's got to be enough. 12? Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, and they, you want to support your local gun shop, but they got to be, they wonder why people go shop online.
You know what, man? Like the bullets are like the same price. The powder, when you can get, it's like the same price. Why does the primers have to jump threefold, fourfold?
Because they know people want them. So I'm gonna. I don't have any cash to spare this month to go down to the gun store to see if they got any. Well, not this week anyway. I got to do some more budgeting, and I might be able to scrounge a few dollars and go see if they got any primers. But that's okay if I don't get any. That's fine. I can survive. I said I still got two 30-round mags just in case shit hits the fan, And I got loads of 45s and 380s and 45 Colt just backed up, so I'm good to go. No,
I'm all about trying to support the smaller shops in a sense. Ever since I've been jerked around at the bigger places and things, it's always, I know it's always a little bit more, but it's a no bullshit experience, which I appreciate.
But a little bit. I mean, there's a difference between a little bit more and $3 and $12.
But you got to keep in mind. I mean, I'm not agreeing with the price that he's threw out there in a sense, and I don't buy primers but that kind of markup does seem extreme. But
it's not just $12.
I was saying kind of in good times, gun stores, a lot of them are close to the line in some cases. I mean, not some of these bigger superstores and populated areas and all that, but the regular small mom and pop shops. So, and now everything going up and being an issue. I mean, obviously we're going to pay a little more, but
yeah. I mean, that's what
3-4 times as much is. I mean, you got to draw a line somewhere, like you're saying. Like that's just a little out there.
Yeah, because it's not like it's just $12. $12 is just a sleeve of 100. You want 10 of them in a box, man. So now that's $120 for a box that used to cost $30. It's not like, oh, $12 and I'm good, I'll pay the extra 12. Nah, it's like you need 12 times 10, 12 times 20. On just a small purchase, and that's just jacked, man. That ends up being $240 for $60 worth of primers, man. And I mean, that's damn near what I would call infringement right there.
Got a injured outdoorsman joining here.
Yes, the man.
Must have heard the call.
Got his ears all burning, didn't you?
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
Good afternoon or evening.
How are y'all doing?
Not bad at all.
Well, good deal.
Hang on a minute. I'm
Pretty
trying.
Well.
It's hard for me to type and talk at the same time.
Well, it's hard for me to walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah. I was just G23 was saying he hadn't got his gift card yet. I mailed it on Friday, but it was Labor Day Monday, so the post office wasn't working. So hopefully you should get it tomorrow or Friday, I would say, because I did mail it. So there we go. Anyway, my original question, actually, while I wanted, I'm not saying you do or don't, but my question was if would you use extreme pain? Would you use marijuana and lie on the 4473? That was my question. I personally wouldn't use it. I've never used it.
Loaded
I
question.
don't plan to.
I'd lie to the devil.
You know, but it's a dilemma. I mean, I know. I mean, each their own. If somebody wants to use it, by all means, go for it. But that's your thing. But I mean, personally, myself, I couldn't. I wouldn't feel right putting on the 4473. You know, checking. No, I'm not an
I'd
habitual
lie to
user.
the devil. I'd lie to God and brag to the devil.
I mean, it's the government. So they lie to us, so why can't we lie to them?
Well, if I could take the stage for a minute or two.
Yes.
I was a law enforcement officer. You know, I was a law enforcement officer. The guy who did this to me was on marijuana as well as narcotics and was drinking. But in college, I had seen a lot of my friends.
Hang on a minute, Jay. You're not muted. We can hear you in the background. There you go. All right, go on.
I'd seen a lot of my friends start out with drinking, go to marijuana, and then now they're, you know, I've been graduated college 10 years now, and they're, you know, they still don't have their degree, and they're doing hard stuff like LSD and who knows what. So
yeah,
I used to be very against it, even as a law enforcement officer, but after being indoctrinated into the chronic pain community and everyone wanting you to stop opiates and stuff like that, and then seeing the data for medical marijuana, you know, I haven't personally done any medical marijuana. I haven't tried the stuff, but it does have. Think about it this way: would you rather have someone with a firearm on an opiate, or would you rather have someone on marijuana to numb the pain? And that's kind of a no-brainer because opiates are so much more intoxicating.
I agree.
But doesn't the 4473 say if you're addicted to marijuana, not if you're a user of it? I could be wrong on that, but I think it says if you're addicted to marijuana or another street drug.
Habitual user, I believe, is the definition. Could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. At least in my state.
What it is too. You know.
Okay.
And lying on the 4473 is a felony.
Correct.
You know, so I mean, it's a. I mean, that's a tough one to cross, but I agree with what you're saying. If somebody who's on a sort of like prescribed, oh hell, like an OxyContin type thing for pain, and somebody taking marijuana for pain, and they had a firearm, I guess if you look at it that way, the one on marijuana to me would be safer than the one on Oxycontin.
Exactly. And I was on opiates for 4.5 years. I've been off it for 17 days now. We've been weaning down over the past year, and I've been off for 17 days now.
Yeah.
But the amount that I was using to control my pain, especially when we switched, because I was using this one for nerve pain, but if I was on it, like I could barely have a conversation. But once we switched the opiate that I was on, it affected me a whole lot less. But still, even with that being said, I'd rather, trust someone more on marijuana than I would on an opiate, especially how addictive opiates are, and
Yeah.
how much how much you have to increase it to still feel the same pain relief and or high.
Yeah. I mean, like for my severe spinal stenosis, I take capapentin. Is that how you pronounce it?
Gabapentin.
Yeah. I do 900 milligrams a day. 300 milligrams, morning, noon, and night.
Sure.
I mean, that when I went in for my hip operation, that's what they gave me for pain medicine.
Okay.
They didn't give me anything else.
Sure.
So that's what I use. I mean, and to be honest with you, it helps a lot, but I still feel the pain.
Yeah.
But I've learned to live with it,
And I don't know. The 4473, like every other government paperwork file, needs to be updated. If you have a legitimate reason for federally, it shouldn't be a class 1, a schedule 1 drug in the first place, especially with how proven it is, as a sleep aid, as a anxiety reliever, as a epileptic, like it has like a 98% success rate with childhood epileptic patients.
Yeah.
The full cream with the THC and everything. If you rub that on a patient, on a pediatric patient, there's a 98% chance that will work and stop epileptic seizures.
Okay. Yeah.
So there are very legitimate medical uses, to where before, I was injured, and when I was a law enforcement officer, I was like, oh, people are just using, oh, I got a glaucoma or my back hurts or whatever as an excuse to use it recreationally. But once I kind of became indoctrinated into the chronic pain community, there is absolutely a place for it medically, as long as it's regulated, kind of like opiates are,
Yeah.
through pain management and that type of thing.
Yeah. But you're more than right. It shouldn't be classed as it is. Personally, the government, to me, I guess I'm old school. I know they say that it's non-addictive and all this stuff, but the way I look at it, coming from I've been sober for 23, 24 years now. I look at it from the sense that, to me, yeah, it might not be addictive, but you're smoking it and you're getting high and you're having a great time. You're going to say, well, if this makes me feel this way, what happens if I, take take some crack or some heroin. It moves you on to the next one higher. That's the way I look at it. Whether
That
that's right or
falls on
wrong,
the
I don't know.
individual.
What?
I think that falls on the individual. So I've known people that since I was ever introduced to them, they smoke, have a regular job, they get through life just fine. They
But
pay their bills.
they more likely
Yeah.
don't have that addictive personality.
Well, exact. I think that's what I mean. It depends on the individual. So, like that whole gateway thing or whatever. Some people, especially, not right now, but it was the tagline forever is YOLO or whatever. You only live once. You're going to try everything. And unfortunately, when you start stepping up to different things, it might only take once to change your world. So, not like I said, not condoning it and for whatever the case or whatever, but just stating that whole gateway thing, I think that just, that just falls back to that individual personally. So,
yeah. But where I was originally going with this is, right, if the government wants to still class it as a drug, but not class it in that high line with all the rest of them, or it wouldn't affect you on the 4473 type thing. I don't know how you would do that, but
I just think it's a shitty question because it also wants to know if you're an alcoholic, right? Or on pills or something too. If you're a person who drinks too much, I'm going to say, hey, you drink too much. You're going to say, no, I don't. So it's a matter of opinions and loggerheads. That's just a stupid question. It really is. What does it have to do with my God-given, constitutionally backed up rights? That's just a dumb question. And when they changed it, and there's more than two choices when it says gender, it just means your whole piece of paper is just woke garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It should be a criminal record. You know what I mean? Do you have a felony? Do you not? End of questions. You know what I mean? You got my identity. You got my identity. You got my social security number. You're the one looking at my record. All the other questions is just really a bunch of bull. You know what I mean?
Also, if you're a violent, have been not only accused but convicted of a violent offense, especially a violent domestic offense. There might be some people even on here that disagree with me, but even if it's a misdemeanor violent offense, especially a domestic offense, you probably shouldn't have a gun in the house, because that's going to elevate things. If you're pissed and hitting your wife, and the cops show up, that could lead to a hostage situation or shots fired or whatever. So I do think that's valid, and I think that's in every state. If you're a convicted violent domestic abuser, even if it's a misdemeanor, that you still can't buy a gun.
Yeah, but see, then we're getting into another rabbit hole here. I also believe if you're arrested for something that gives you a felony, right, and then you could serve your time in jail and they let you out, you should have your rights back. If they don't trust you to have your rights back, then don't let you out of jail. That's the way I look at it.
I pretty much believe the same. And I'd add, as far as that domestic stuff, I would see that more as a case-by-case outcome, because different states had different laws in a sense where, if the officers show up, somebody's got to take a ride. It's just what it is sometimes. So in those cases, a lot of times a guy steps up to take the ride, even though it might have been just a casual argument, but the neighbors called and it's considered a domestic. So, stuff like that, I think is pretty shitty. But I mean, obviously, if the guy's has a record of beating his wife or something, then sure, that's fine. I wouldn't be thrilled with something like that. But depending what the actual situation is, or sometimes it's roommates, it's not always husband and wife, where it's domestic in a sense. And in some cases, just defending yourself, you can still be charged with being combative. So.
Sure.
And for somebody 10 years down the line not to be able to protect their children or wife just seems ridiculous to me. I would assume there'd have to be a pattern of behavior, not just an incident 12 years ago back in college or something.
Now,
yeah, go on.
I'm trying to formulate my statement, but for violent felons, I don't think they should. If you're convicted of a violent felony by a panel of 12 people of your peers, of a violent felony, and those are kidnapping, that's beating someone half to death, that's whatever the case is, I don't think you should have the right to have guns. But if it's just like drug charges that are a felony, give them, once they've served their time, give them their gun rights, because nothing they did was violent, and they don't pose the same dangers to society as a convicted violent
But if
felon.
you think that person who did that, right, and he served his 20, 25, 30 years or whatever,
Sure.
right, and gets let out, and you still think he's violent, then why are you letting him out? That's the way I look at it, because I know it doesn't work this way, but theoretically, prison is meant to rehabilitate people.
So I am right now in Illinois, horrible state, and don't ever any of you move here. But I've been here for the past year, getting treatment 3 to 6 times a week. But my pastor, he was a felon for selling drugs, and you have to have in Illinois a firearms owner's identification card.
Yeah,
that goes through the state police and stuff.
Yeah, FOID card, isn't that what they call it?
FOID card, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And because like his son or something wanted a BB gun or something to plink around in the backyard. They live in the county, and in Illinois, a BB gun is considered a firearm, and he can't get his FOID card to buy a BB gun or pellet gun for his son. And I think that's absolutely insane. Because he was convicted for selling drugs or something. He didn't have a gun on him. He wasn't violent. He was selling drugs.
Yeah,
and so I don't think you should lose your rights just because you were selling drugs.
Yeah, and he served his time or whatever he had to do for that crime, and he should have his rights back. Especially for a drug crime like that. I see where you're coming from, but I honestly believe that if you've been punished and you've been put in jail for X amount of years, and you let them out, then they should get all their stuff back. And if you won't give it back, don't let them out. If you still think they're dangerous, don't let them out. Maybe I'm thinking too simplistically.
Most people I've arrested or calls that we go on are habitual. There's a pattern there, whether it's a pattern of misdemeanor or felonies or whatever. But most of the calls and most of the arrests are repeat offenders. Rarely in my career, did I arrest someone and this was their first arrest. So
I mean, it's our justice system. Why were they kept being let out to reoffend? They should have never been let out to start with. If they can't be trusted, they shouldn't be let out of jail. I don't care how minor the infraction was.
Look, no law stopped them from becoming a felon, and no gun law is going to stop them from getting a gun if they're back on the streets. Just plain and simple.
Yeah, you're violent offender. Gets released from jail. Say he's got a 25-year sentence, but he gets out after 12 on parole for good behavior or whatever. Right? If he's going to be violent with a firearm, he's going to get a firearm. He's not going to walk into a store and fill out a 4473 for it. He's going to buy it on the street corner.
Yep, exactly. And
so where I'm going with this is, so the guy who's being the guy who went to jail and got out after 12 and a half years, and he has turned his life around, right, should have his rights back. The way I look at it.
Well, that's what the parole board is supposed to do. But they no one can look into the future and see what someone's going to do. And at that point, you're going into red flag laws and going down a bad rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Hunter Biden was able to keep his gun rights.
True.
I thought the feds were looking into him.
Yeah, nothing's gonna come of that.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know. I get a little ticked up about this time of the year, especially when we gave 600,000 machine guns to the Taliban, that I should even have to answer a question on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of, have you all heard about the rare breed forced reset trigger, the FRT-15, that the ATF is now trying to say is a
machine gun?
A machine gun?
Yeah.
There was just a product released, yesterday that is basically the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's I mean, the ATF has got the ATF's out of hand now, I believe. Yeah, they shouldn't be making
sounds like a trap to me.
You know what? I don't take me wrong. Don't somehow think I flipped on an anti-gun or whatever. But I know what that trigger is, and I've seen them for sale around here. And let's just be honest with it. It's not. It may not meet what's the written definition of a machine gun. Okay, that's manufactured as a machine gun. But let's get clear. That trigger is skirting it pretty close for. Don't call it a machine gun. Call it automatic fire. It's close. It's tippy. It's enough to piss them off, right? And it just draws more attention to them coming after our new inventions, or what we want to call toys or whatever. I think it's kind of irresponsible to produce that trigger, at least at this particular, climate of things, and put it out there, because it's just one more thing to piss the ATF off and one more thing to them to go after and ban without a law being passed. And that's just one more strike against us. You know what I mean? I think that product kind of skirts it too close. You know what I mean? I mean, that's a lot of fire pretty fast. And you just know that they're not going to go for that. You knew it. They were tiptoeing around the law to make that product. We really, it's cool, it's nice and everything, but like I said, right now it's something that it's just going to piss them off, and they're going to go after it, which they have, and it'll just cause us more headaches, more legal troubles, and distract us from the real fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because didn't they go after something that looked like a credit card, but you popped it out and and you could put it in, and it would make your do the same thing to your trigger in your AR-15, make it shoot like a.
Yeah, that was the auto sear card.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's pushing. That's just pushing it.
See, stuff like this gets us in comment periods, in legal battles, and all this and that, and we start sending the focus to that and fighting that, instead of, like, if you got a problem with that rear breed trigger, well, let's just fight the whole machine gun act. You know what I mean? Let's just fight that whole act instead of bowing down to them and trying to get permission for this product. If you do that, then that means you're just agreeing with their law. You're just trying to say you found a way to sneak around it. Instead of messing with all this and that, we should just fight the main issue here. And then you can make, if you win, you can make whatever product you want. But like I said, I just feel right now at that point with bump stock still coming up now and then, and that pistol braces, and then wanting to change and define everything by length, and then even if they don't like it, they'll just say no anyways, and all the fight with them. This is one more thing just to piss them off, man. And this one, though, they could go right on national TV with, Mothers Against Everything, and shoot that off on some CNNs and some MSNBCs for 2 or 3 days, and they'll have everybody up in arms about it. They'll even lie. They'll be like, "Oh, look, the 30 people that got killed in Chicago last week, we found a rare breed trigger," and they'll make a campaign against you, and they'll squash you.
I found a video. It was only 2 or 3 minutes long, but they had a lower with a rare breed trigger in it, and then they had a full auto, registered, compliant, whatever, full auto lower. And the cyclic rate was nearly identical. They had a slow motion camera, and they zoomed in to where you could see that it was one bullet fired for each movement of the trigger, but the cyclic rate overall and the time it took to go through a 30-round magazine was the exact same. But Jay, I think you just brought it up. Things like this do detract from things like pistol braces, right? The ATF has approved it for 10 years, and it was approved by the Americans with Disability Act for 10 years. And now they're trying to go against that. But this whole rare breed trigger thing is taking the fire and the piss out of people who because I need a pistol brace to shoot certain firearms. My Glock 21 that I used to carry on duty has a lot of recoil. And putting it in a micro conversion kit from CAA with a pistol brace on it helps me shoot that gun a whole lot better and a whole lot more steadily than trying to shoot it by itself. Same thing with an AR pistol. And yeah, to some extent, I think that, by bringing up all these other loopholes and trying to get in them is detracting away from, dare I say, more important issues like the pistol brace thing that I mean, there's so many disabled veterans and first responders and civilians alike, like all of us here, that may need it.
Yeah.
The thing about those rare breeds that scares me the most, it's not like they would come out and say, okay, this forced reset trigger, this rare breed brand trigger is now an NFA item or any of that. They'll write it so that it'll say something along the lines of any trigger, modified from what it came from the factory with will be illegal. You know what I mean? That's how they'll do it. They won't just say like, oh, well, the rare breed trigger is a no-go. They'll word it as any modification to the trigger is what they'll go after, man. And I mean, it just leads to a slippery slope with a product like that even though we have our feelings about it, the image of that product could be manipulated out in the media so easily that they just squash our efforts.
Yeah. Travis T in the chat says, I say push every boundary until they have to admit these laws are arbitrary. The only problem with that is they're never admitted. You know? I mean, personally, I think we should be able to buy a machine gun, walk right down to our gun store and buy one if you can afford it. I see no problem with it. But I hate saying the word but until the NFA is done away with, it's there. You know what I'm saying? You've got to work with what we've got right now. You know, they're not going to come out tomorrow and say the NFA is being abolished or the ATS being abolished. It ain't going to happen overnight. You know? No.
I'm kind of with Travis in a sense. I say push it at every angle. Like, that's exactly what they do. That's how they get us every damn time. Just like Jason said, they're going to rewrite it and try to include a bunch more shit.
And they'll get away with it, too.
Yeah, but we shouldn't let them, or we shouldn't recognize it. Like, that's just it. So basically, we got to be all scared, hop through hoops because they leave a window for us to come up with a go around. Damn well, every company out there hires attorneys for loopholes and windows. Like, same thing
on our side
about with Trump with his taxes. Yeah, but why do we got to be the bigger man in the sense every time on every fact?
What we need
more and more.
What we need is a Sharon Watts on our side. A lot of their shit happens because of Sharon Watts. She's mom. She works for Bloomberg, and she's the one that does all that stuff for them, gets it out into the media, gets it to everybody's attention. We don't have that on our side. We need somebody like her working for the Pro 2A, and we don't have it. You know, if we had somebody like that, some people who work in PR working for us, it would make a hell of a difference.
Yeah, see, we're the minority.
People is a bad idea. Yeah, we all just got to get a little more balls ourselves and say hell no as a general group, and we'd have better luck. So
yeah.
Worst come to worst, we go, raise hell somewhere, and then, maybe our lives will matter too.
See, it's just the problem is, as gun people, we're the minority. Our voice isn't loud enough, and our pocketbooks ain't deep enough, so they don't listen to us. They care less.
I mean,
it's not like G's saying like, oh, we're supposed to bow the media. When I was saying they could show the images of those rapid fire guns on the media and turn it against us. I'm not saying bow to the media.
Yeah.
We won't.
No.
But everybody else will.
I mean, but
they don't listen to us.
So pushing back against that, so you're going to keep pushing it. You're going to keep using your trigger in your AR-15 till they come and arrest your ass, get charged with a felony of some sort, lose your gun rights. What have you proved? Nothing. Things are still the same. And so, I mean, you got to pick somebody told me here on this channel, pick your battles. And fighting that one, to me, isn't one to fight. not in this stage
That's true.
of the way the government is. You know, I mean that's my opinion, but I could be wrong.
You got to pick your battles, but at the same time, allowing them to use all the loopholes and the language and holding us accountable. Well, they should be held accountable too. Just like
right.
any other legal proceeding, if you don't cover your ass on paperwork, don't be surprised when
they have
people
PR behind them. We don't.
So what? The whole system's rigged against us. It doesn't matter if we're out there saving babies and farting freaking rainbows.
But if
we're the bad guy. So
no, but
you're not going to change that perspective until we change the whole damn system or the media, because they're all controlled. So, this is the same old shit. You can't convince people that don't want to be convinced when everything's against you anyway in the system. So it's word of mouth, grassroots. You show somebody something different and it slowly grows. There is no easy button.
All right. We'll have to agree to disagree. So, Jerry Parker said the gun community is not the minority. Well, honestly, I believe it is, personally. How many gun owners is there, really? Think about it. I mean, they say there's 400 million guns out there, but that's not one gun for everybody. I mean, I got 11, and that's only me. And 11 is minute to most of you guys out there. I know. So I reckon 100 million at the most gun owners.
Which is what, less than a third of the population?
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong on that figure as well, but that's what I think from what I've been reading. And so that makes us a minority.
I feel if you're totally outnumbered, you're just going to give up on your values.
No, I'm not giving up. You got to pick your battles.
All right. Well, that's the whole point in a sense. It really don't matter how many it comes down to. It's what's within your heart and where your lines are. It'd be nice to change it, but coming up with a new patch or a sticker or something ain't going to change the world.
Totally off subject, and I don't care saying it live because I say it all the time to people around here. I do not believe in the vaccine, and I'm not going to take it. Okay, and I'm fighting it all the way. My doctor, I went and saw my doctor, and for the third time, he's giving me the speech why I should take it. And for the third time, I told him, no way in hell. But if the government finds, unfortunately, because of life choices I've made in my life, which were not good ones, right? Plus, I got injured at work. So I'm on disability, Social Security disability, which is my money anyway, because I paid into it for goddamn years. But it's run by the government, and I'm on Medicare because of my disability. If the government comes like they're forcing federal employees to have this, state police to have this and stuff, what's stopping them to say, well, Medicare, you got to have a vaccine or you're not covered under Medicare anymore? You know what I'm saying? Then what am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to take it because I can't afford to live without it.
Working or doing something different. Or you could make the choice of working or doing something different, trying to get in with family. There's a lot of things. You could go up to a piece of land and do your foraging or gardening and stuff. I mean, you still have a choice. It may not be one you want to make, but you still technically have.
Not really. Not when it comes to that. I don't really have a choice.
You do.
I mean, I need my Medicare for all the medication I'm on. I need it. I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked at it. So what drug is out there that you can buy over the counter that will help me with my diabetes. Just wondering.
I don't think there is.
You know?
I
Yes,
don't know.
I can control it by diet and stuff, but there's no guarantee that it will do that. You know?
Sure, but it's still a choice.
No, I'd rather live than die. You know?
So you give up your morals and values to live. So that's the line for you. So other people may choose differently, though. And, if honor, respect, American values die with those people, we're all screwed. It sucks for the world, but, it's not much we can do. You are what you are.
Yeah. It's all, I mean, it's okay. It's okay talking that kind of talk, but when it comes down to it, you got a choice to make. I mean, by all means, get one of those triggers, put it in your firearm, and go all the way with it. And because that's your choice. Are you willing to? Willing to give up your gun?
I don't
Are you
need
willing
the
to give up
trigger.
your
I'm
gun?
talking about a whole lifestyle. So, but for some people, that may be their line.
I was just using the health thing. I was using that as maybe it was a bad choice to use. How far you're willing to go on something. Are you willing to give up your rights, your Second Amendment rights, to prove a point? How far are you willing to push that? Are you willing to give up your rights to push a point? I mean, it's up to each individual, isn't it? That's quieted them all down. I bet everybody's left now. I mean, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just, telling you how I think. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
That's the real question. That's the question that cuts through all the bullshit, in my opinion. So everybody's got different lines. And we're seeing some people drawing that with the education system, with their jobs. We're seeing everybody make different choices nowadays. So, but the key point is you do have a choice. Like, you don't have to kiss the ring. You could take death.
God damn it. You're sounding more like Squib every goddamn word.
You still have a damn choice.
Okay, Squib. Squib Jr.
You're going to go. You might as well go with honor.
All right, Squib Jr.
So, to change the subject a little bit, but kind of still stay on the NFA.
Yeah.
Over on the, if any of you are still on Facebook, I've got Injured Outdoorsman Facebook page over there. And a couple days back, I posted a picture of a mare's leg, and the mare's leg had an antler, and the buttstock, or whatever you want to call it, was the base of the antler and was pretty wide. And then the fore end, or the foregrip, was an antler with a tine, basically dropping straight down, basically turning it into a vertical foregrip. And so I commented, I wonder what the ATF would have to say about this mare's leg. I bet that tine dropping straight down would classify it as a short-barreled rifle. I tried to share it on the chat, but it won't let me upload pictures at all.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, I got a Bible there, Kingpin. G23 said his Facebook and Instagram accounts have been deactivated by Facebook. That's G23. Yeah. It's
What?
I got a Facebook account. I check it first thing in the morning because normally it reminds me whose birthday's coming up. You know, I look at that, and because normally I get a little notification up in the corner, and I click on it and goes, so and so's birthday today, or so and so's birthday was yesterday, and it didn't notify me first thing in the morning, and so I only go on it first thing in the morning. That's it for the rest of the day. Very rare I ever go on it more than once a day now. You know, so
Yeah, I gave up Facebook years ago, man. Causes too much local drama around here.
oh yeah,
Yeah, but I never used it, but it was still in existence there for years. And
yeah.
the day they took away Donald Trump's Facebook is the day I went and totally erased mine.
Yeah. Well, see, a couple of cousins of mine, they use Messenger to get hold of me, and you have to have a Facebook account to use Messenger. You know, so
yeah, I know.
That's about the only reason I keep it. You know?
I know too many people that just live on that Facebook, man.
Oh yeah,
and I can't stand it. Even years ago, I really didn't give much for it. I'm not the one like, why would you tell everybody every single thing you're doing? You know what I mean? All the time, people do that crap. Like, no, you know.
Why do you care about half the stuff? Why do you? And they get upset if you don't comment. I avoided that whole thing.
Believe it or not,
after that, I'm glad I never ever did, because it's all you can do is bitch about it.
The most I ever did on Facebook that took most of the time when I'd be on it was playing Farmville. Believe it or not, I care less about who posted what, who said what. Every time you say something or do something, you get in trouble anyways. Or just because somebody sends you a friend notice, now you're unfaithful and a cheater and stuff. All that crap's just too much drama for me.
Yeah. What you call it? Travis T said that I think a short video of my daughter shooting killed my account. That wouldn't surprise me. It's getting ridiculous, you know. I mean, I didn't do many YouTube videos anyway. To start with, I mainly do these live chats because I like doing this kind of shit. But you know, they're so much restrictive even on this. I mean, theoretically, you're not meant to hold a firearm in your hand while you're doing a live chat or some shit. I mean, I don't know if they eased off on that at all. Was it even at one time you weren't allowed to do any reloading online on a live either, because that was classed as manufacturing and that's not allowed and this kind of shit. So, unfortunately, YouTube is still the biggest audience, no matter how much we hate it. So, oh well. Anyway, I'm going to wind this up because it's 8:15, guys. Oh, I had my salad the other day, by the way. Their New York Outcast. I saw that. Was that a burger and fries I saw on your plate a few minutes ago?
No, that was what I call an Italian sandwich.
Oh,
so it was basically
honestly,
a salad on a bun.
I actually didn't. I just saw your camera going off, and I didn't actually see it. So I just took a wild guess.
Okay.
So so yeah, I haven't eaten yet, and so
it even had Italian dressing on it.
The what? Oh, your sandwich
had Italian dressing on it. Yep.
Oh man, that sounds good.
It was.
I plan on having. I got a couple of bread rolls, and I plan on having me a sharp cheddar cheese and branched in pickle sandwich. 2 of them. That's what I plan on having.
In America, right?
What? I have the #1 American gun hanging on the wall on my rnldisplays.com stand there. So I might not eat everything. I might not eat mac and cheese, but I have the American gun. That's all that counts.
It's a start.
At least you're getting some salad then.
I'm planning on shooting that tomorrow. So as soon as this show's over, before I make my sandwich, I'm going to drop that in the gun plate, or it's ready to go first thing in the morning. Because I'll go shoot. I go to breakfast first down at Deb's. Then we're leave. My buddy comes and eats too. Then we'll leave there, go to his house, and set up the target. Well, his target's already set up back behind his garage in the woods, and I'll fire away my 110, 120 rounds I got, whatever I have.
Before you get crazy, Rick, you need to go slow. It doesn't take that many rounds to zero something. So
I
if
know.
something gets crazy, check everything's tight. Make sure you're lining up in the same way. You know, so you're
A
not.
Welsh rabbit is not an open-faced grilled cheese. I don't give a shit what you say. You know. No, you're right. I'm more likely going to start using my my 380 because I haven't fired that thing in about 6-7 months. So I need to get that back on. Get my eye back on that thing. You know. So I've been doing dry fire with my little laser thing, shooting at the TV at nighttime. You know, and but I haven't actually fired it in about 6 months. So last time I was going to fire it when I went shooting, I forgot to put the ammo in my bag. I put the ammo in there earlier today. So I got my 380 ammo in my bag, in my rifle bag. Because I got one of them big, hang on, where is it? Right here. I can turn around and grab this thing. This is what I use for my rifle and shotgun and 22. But I got all my ammo in the front here. I got my my 380 in here, along with some 22s because my 22's in here. My hearing protection, and this is all my. I got a magazine over here too, a 30-round magazine. I got about 4 in there, I think, for my AR. So that's what I use for my rifle. So there we go.
That's a good looking pack, man.
Yeah. It's goddamn heavy though, and I can't find them. God knows what I did with them, but it comes with straps where you clip on, and you can wear it like a backpack. You know, over your shoulders. You know, but I can't find what I did with the straps. You know, normally I would have put them inside and kept them in there, but God knows what I did with them. I bet you they're in one of these boxes I ain't unpacked yet. You can't see them because they're behind the camera. I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes I still haven't unpacked yet from my move 2.5 years ago. You know, for what's in them, I don't think if I haven't unpacked them this long, why it's more like I need to throw the shit out. You know what I'm saying? But there might be the odd 1 or 2 things in there that I need, i.e., like the straps for that and stuff like that. But otherwise, the rest of it must be junk. Anyway, as I was saying about the R&L display with my AR sitting on or hanging on, you go to there at checkout, type in Rick's Life, and get 15% discount for one of those. So there you go. Anyway, quiz for this Saturday. I got a couple of entries and a couple of them are right. What I want to know is the movie The Matrix. What was special about it? In the firearm related. What was special about it in that movie? And also in the same movie, Agent Smith, I want to know what firearm he carried in that movie too. You know, make, model, and all that good shit. So, email me at rickslife as I see it at gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. Get it into me by 12 noon Saturday, Eastern time, the only time zone that matters. So, there we go. Well, I know it got a bit heated and we got some difference of opinions here, but I hope you all still love me and come back on Saturday. I might have a different opinion by then. All right, New York Outcast, you got any plugs or shout outs?
Just check out, if you're interested in a display or want to support an American company or all that good stuff, help get somebody out from New York, check it out. Rick's code there. Other than that, thanks for joining us. We argue like this occasionally, and nobody really hates anybody, so we can agree to disagree and continue on. And in my opinion, that's the beauty of America. We shouldn't want to kill each other. So,
yeah.
But all in all, thanks for joining us, folks. Check out everybody on the panel and have a great evening.
All right, Jason, you got anything?
Yeah. Let's not forget Saturday's a very special day coming up.
It is. It is.
I hope everybody has some time between now and then and that day to reflect on their own thoughts. And, this is a milestone moment, 20 years. And, we say never forget.
But sometimes I think we have.
I think we have. And I think we all, even myself, I've been thinking about it lately, reflect upon it. And each year it's always been, like a reflecting and remembering where we were and what we did that day, and now with what's happened lately in Afghanistan and the end of the war, and it's 20 years later, I think we should truly remember the 3,000 that day and the thousands more in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking and remembering where we was, what we did, what happened that day, let's remember those people, and let's not forget who killed them.
Yeah. Yeah. My show on Saturday was going to be roughly along those lines. Unfortunately, Travis has already put up his reminder and he's already got my title. So, we're might just carry on from his chat in the morning. But, yeah, you're right. Very special day. I know, and, there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about on Saturday, like, it was only meant to last a year or two, but 20 years on, we still got the Patriot Act, but anyway, we'll save all that for Saturday.
Yeah, we'll save it for Saturday.
Yeah. Injured Outdoorsman, you got any shout outs or plugs?
Give me 1 second. I haven't put out any or I guess published any new videos within the past 8 months, as I had a lot on my plate. But as of today, got most of that stuff off of my plate. And so a lot of my free time, when I am feeling good, is going to be going to editing and publishing a lot of content. I have at least 7 different videos that I've filmed that I have to edit and put together and stuff like that. But you should be seeing a lot more videos from me. I'm going to try and put them up every week and a half, something like that. But I should be putting up a lot more content here in the coming weeks.
All right, that sounds great. That'd be good to watch them. All right, so I got everybody. So I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for sticking with us and listening to me rant and disagree with everybody. And but I read. I might not have read them all out, but I read most of what was going on in the chat there. And as I said, by Saturday, my opinion might change on what I feel like today. But it's an opinion, and we all have them. So there we go. So I want to say thank you very much for being here. and I will be back on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters. So good night, everybody.
Hey, Rick, one more question for you.
Yeah.
On this platform, how do you get, instead of, IO for my my
Oh,
little
you mean like
icon
put an
there,
avatar there?
how do I get my my actual image up?
All right. We can. I'm trying to remember how to do it, but
You got to go to
Just shoot me an
Gravatar.
email.
okay. We'll tell you after we go offline. Don't disappear. Stay where you're at, even when I go offline. All right. We'll
Sounds
tell
good.
you how to do it. All right. So good night, everybody, and I will see you on Saturday. That's it.